Hey, it's Allie at Sticky Glue and You, and today I have for you a drawing of one of my favorite winter characters, which is a Yeti, which seems perfect considering the snowstorm that has come across the Midwest and East Coast, putting lots of kids home for snow days. Lucky, lucky. Anyways, while this project is fun for kids, it can be adapted to adults as well. So if you are so inclined to create this weekend with your littles, let me introduce you to our Yeti. Let's get started. All right, so to start our Yeti, we are going to begin with his head shape or her head shape, whichever you choose. But we're going to build it kind of from the inside out. Now you want to make sure that you give yourself plenty of space because obviously we have the Yeti's body, long arms, and legs still that need to fit. So just a little bit above the halfway point, so if this was halfway up my paper, I'm going to draw a rectangle. Now I'm pressing a little bit darker than what I would encourage you all to do so that you can see it better. So when you're drawing, I always tell my students, draw light till you make it right. A little cliche saying, but it's much easier to erase those loose light lines than it is to erase the darker ones. So here we are with the rectangle. Inside this rectangle, we're going to go ahead and add two eyes. So we're going to use those kind of rainbow frowny lines, bring them around, and add another rainbow arced line, and then in here. So eventually this will get colored black. This will be for your iris, whatever color you would like for your Yeti. We're gonna go ahead and add two little holes for the nose, and nice smile with some cute little Yeti teeth kind of hanging out there. Super simple, basic shapes and lines to kind of give us our face. Now we are going to use a lot of zigzag lines to shape out the remainder part of our Yeti. Starting here at the top. So the Yeti has some long kind of wispy bangs that hang in their face. So we're going to use a zigzag line, which is like that triangle, that up and down. And it does not have to be perfect. Kind of the looser that you go, the better. And after you're finished, you can go in and start erasing that first line, okay? Again, we're gonna color over this, so if you erase some of the lines, not a problem at all. Now we're gonna add the top hair. So these zigzags, the points were going down. This time we want the points to go up as we start our zigzag. So if these were all little like triangles, I guess the top of the triangle kind of looks like it's down, even though zigzag lines have triangles on both ends. But now we're going to zigzag up and have that hair kind of sprout out around as if it was like a water fountain. So kind of loose. It's okay if they get a little, kind of wiggly and things like that. We're gonna go about halfway down the face because then we want to add two ears. Oh, that one might have gotten a little too long there, so add another ear. And then we're going to continue those zigzags, shaping around the Yeti's face. Okay, so there is under the chin, and now we can kind of go in and shape a little bit more around here with some of that fur. And give it kind of that loose line. So there we have the Yeti's head. Now for the body, we're going to make a nice big U shape. Again, drawing light till you get it right. You want to make sure that you still leave some space for the legs. So once we have this U shape, we're going to add the two arms that come down right where the head, the neck area, and the body start. I like to just kind of draw a very light kind of rectangle line. And do the same on this side. Remember, those Yetis have kind of long arms, so I like to have them come down about as long as their belly. And then we're going to go in and just kind of add the lines for the legs. So two kind of outside here. Two straight lines coming down. And then those feet can come out and you can have them touch the bottom if you want. If they're a little higher, it's no problem. And then we're going to add that little V to divide those legs apart. So this gives us just the rough shape, and now we're going to go back in again with those zigzag lines to shape everything and give it that texture. So again, those zigzags kind of loosely going around. Same thing on the arms. Now with the Yeti, you can go in and add like hands if you want true hands. I typically don't teach my students to have them do hands, just because this is usually one of my one-day like filler projects. So I just keep it simple and let the Yeti's kind of fuzzy hair hang long. You can go in and kind of add some here to shape like the inside of the belly a little bit. Kind of go in really loose and start adding some extra texture in there. Get those legs. And again, I find with zigzag lines, it's actually better to be a little kind of loose with the lines, almost like a wave, as opposed to really trying to get like a perfect pointed zigzag as you go around. The looser the better, because this is obviously texture that we're creating here with these lines. So not meant to be perfect. Okay, it's a natural object. So then we can kind of go in and add a little bit here, and add a couple extra layers around in here. And that is where we are at. So for our lesson today, I actually had the kids kind of create a backdrop behind our Yeti because they are white. So white on white on white on white gets a little bit boring on the paper. So I had them go in and add some like mountains that were kind of coming down behind the Yeti. To give it a little bit of a backdrop. We added a ground line, so our horizon line where like the snow was coming here. So this obviously was white too, but you could go in and kind of add some snow drifts with a little bit of blue if you wanted. And then our mountains. And then up here, I went in and added just kind of some loose clouds to give it some more texture and opportunities for color. And that was our very quickly drawn Yeti. Remember that you can always pause if you need to, but I want to make sure that we're not holding your attention for too long, that you're getting bored. So I started coloring one earlier today. I used gray just to give it some texture around, or some color, even though he is white, and then I put some blue in there. Did blue eyes. I still got to get my black mouth and nostrils, but as you can see up here, the sky, I did like a combination of blues and pinks and purples with some purple mountains and things like that, just to add a little bit of color, but you could use browns if you wanted your mountains to be a little bit more realistic. I kept mine kind of fun and cartoonish, like that really early morning sun coming up when you got that, we call it a cotton candy sky here, with my kids, but that idea of like the pinks and the blues kind of coming up together. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and please, if you do create a Yeti this weekend, I'd love to see them. You can tag us on Instagram so that we can share them out. Otherwise, have a great weekend.